Before we go to our top story tonight, we want to address some of the concerns from the local community about this series we've been doing on C-section complications. It started out with a mother still in her hospital gown wanting to get her story heard. As a result, more mothers have reached out to us with similar stories. We have chosen to publish their stories, but we also want the community to know that we chose to do this because we believe these mothers' voices deserve to be heard. We are not attempting to discredit doctors or attack the medical community. In fact, we've reached out to some doctors not involved in any of these cases, and we are hoping that they will agree to sit down with us to give us a more comprehensive account of risks and complications with any kind of surgery, hoping this will allay fears or concerns within the community. We are not medical professionals, but as responsible citizens, we believe that if you have a medical emergency or concerns about your health, your doctors, our hospitals and clinics are still the best places to go to seek treatment. That should go without saying. These stories are not meant to deter you from seeking the medical help you need. And with that said, we now go to our next story, the third mother in a row who contacted PNC and wanted to share her experience during her C-section 4 years ago. Her bowel was also cut during her delivery. Here's more. Nicole Flores was delivering her third child in February 2014, her first baby girl. She was scheduled for a C-section at GMH. Baby girl Ayani Jade was born healthy. It should have been a moment of joy and a time for happiness for Nicole and her family. But like Alyssa Netadog and April Guerrero, this is the point when all the horror began.
After the recovery, I went to my room feeling sick. And the nurses were like, oh, it's the medication, give it time. I was falling over, I was shaking. And as I'm sitting right now, it looks like I'm taking a shower. I was literally just sitting down and I'm like sweating.
3 days later, instead of graduating to urinating, passing gas, or walking, Nicole was still weak and in severe pain.
The cleaning person, every morning they come and they mop the floor, and I could smell it from afar, and it was like a burning sensation to my stomach, like sharp pain. It's like blades cutting through me, that feeling, and I crawled up screaming. It's like, something's wrong.
Doctors then ordered daily x-rays for Nicole, and finally, after several x-rays, a CT scan. After 8 days at the hospital, Nicole began to vomit a dark-colored substance.
Everything was coming out of me, toxic. It was like black. Black? Yeah, it was black, brownish black. And then I started leaking a lot of water from my eyes and liquid coming out of my ears. And then the results came in when they were going to roll me in for the 5th or 6th day for x-ray. The doctor comes running down and says, you don't need to go in there. And he's huffing and puffing and he's like, we have the results, we know what's wrong with you. First of all, I'm sorry for what's going on and what, all of these things you're going through, but we don't know how much time you have left.
Nicole immediately went into emergency surgery. The purpose?
And he says that, my small intestine was cut.
Who told you this? The doctor?
The doctor.
Who went through the C-section?
And also I had tubal ligation.
She says she was told her small intestine had been accidentally cut during her C-section, causing toxic waste to leak into her body. Did the doctor acknowledge that he made that mistake?
Yes, he did. And I wish I would have recorded him, but I wasn't in the right state.
Through this whole experience, Nicole says she lost nearly 200 pounds in a matter of weeks.
My kids, my son didn't recognize me. It's like my husband has pictures of me in the wheelchair, and he asked his dad, who am I? Because I was that sick.
But that wasn't the end of it for the mother. After being released from GMH, a few weeks later, she continued to feel pain. She consulted with another physician who found a problem with her tubes, which had also been tied during her C-section. She was referred off-island, where doctors later discovered that her tubes were tied wrong, she tells us. All of this happening within the first year of her daughter's life. in and out of clinics and hospitals, unable to raise her newborn or her 2 other boys because the focus had always been on her health.
So I practically missed out on her first year, like basically a lot. And I never got to enjoy, caring for her.
Nicole sought legal advice, but because she was unable to find an attorney willing to take her case pro bono, like April Guerrero, she stopped pursuing it. The pain, the agony, the depression, the fear, all eventually caused Nicole to question everything. She closed up and turned off social media. But then she heard about Alyssa Nedadog's story last week.
I turned it on because of her. Because I feel for her. And my family's like, you need to tell your story. Because it may not be the same doctor, but these doctors need to be assessed.
Nicole says in the last 4 years of her fight, she came across other mothers who have had similar experiences from 15 years ago, but were too fearful to speak up.
I got upset. I said, how come you didn't say anything? But they said they didn't have, the guts to do it. There's other personal issues behind it. But I said, because of what happened to you, look what happened to me. It could have been prevented. And that is why when I saw what happened to Alyssa, I was like, I need to go and reach you.